Welcome back. We are talking with Aaron Reeves, the Executive Director of Aquatics at the YMCA of Northwest North Carolina. We're talking about swimming, we're talking about water safety for kids and for adults, and we're taking your questions. The number is there at the bottom, 336-379-5775. All right, so Aaron, I know a lot of times parents, they're going to go to the beach for the weekend, this, that, and the other. They're going to go to the pool, and they love to buy these colorful things like water wings. Is this something that parents should be using with their kids?
Really, they're not very safe. If you think about it, you blow up the water wings, their arms go over their head and they slide right out of them, especially once you put the sunscreen on and all that kind of good stuff. So using those is something we want to not do. Not only that, when they're doing it, their face can go in the water, and that's not a good situation. So using that Coast Guard approved life vest, it's got a piece that comes up behind the head and they'll float back on it. And if you're wondering, is my device Coast Guard approved, it will be stamped right on the device, and it'll give you all the information on there. So, and then with the really little ones, you want to make sure you've got a strap that comes between their legs to make sure that they're not sliding out of that jacket. So.
Right, because the whole main thing is keeping their head above water, right? Their face not in the water, the face out of the water.
Absolutely, correct.
Okay, so a lot of times we're maybe tubing down the river or whatever else, or we got a bunch of kids at the campground pool, that kind of thing, and maybe something happens and someone needs help. How do we help without endangering ourselves?
Well, the first thing is we want to make sure we don't jump in the water after them, because we don't need two people that are struggling or two people that are in the process of drowning, two victims. The biggest thing is if you can throw something to them to help them float. If you're at a campsite, there's plenty of things there that can float. You empty your cooler, you throw that out at them, and they'll help from that standpoint. But more than anything, you want to call for help. Find an adult, find someone that can help make that rescue, or call 911 and get help on the way. And just going from that, just think about the things that you have that you can reach them with, or throw something to so that they can grab a hold of and float on.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people think, well, I need to get in the water because I need to help them. But people, when they're in the water and they're flailing and that kind of stuff, they're not thinking, let me help the person who's trying to help me.
Right, exactly. And all they want to do is have their head above water and be able to breathe. And if that means they're going to stand on your head to do so, then that's what they do. So.
Okay, and when we're talking about having like a point person or somebody to watch, we always say, you want to watch your kids in the water. Maybe you've got a group of family, that kind of stuff. Is it something where you have to be as pinpointed as saying, hey, Aunt so-and-so, you have the next like 15 minutes, so-and-so, you have, like, how should we do that?
I think that's a great idea. Having someone who has been tasked with that water watcher tag that says, "Hey, I'm responsible for the water for the next X number of minutes, or the period of time that the children are here." Just making sure that you're not distracted. We're not there reading a book, watching the magazine, having our phones out while the children are swimming. We need to be actively engaged in the activity of watching these children swim and have fun in the pool.
Gotcha. Okay. So one of the questions that we get is, what are the health benefits of swimming?
Oh, numerous health benefits. We've got, like I said, arthritic people have great benefits from being in the water, reducing that stress on the joints and being able to get in. From a cardiovascular standpoint, it's working in that whole system. And then as you can go through and you can use some other devices to help with some resistance, and we can do build some muscles from that standpoint. It's a total body workout, and especially if you haven't been in the water in a while, the water lends plenty of resistance to help get you in shape.
Yeah, and if we're just starting back into that, I know my mom, she likes to go and she likes to walk the pool and move her hands and that kind of stuff, and that is a workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day at all of our branches, I see plenty of people doing exactly that. Just walking in the water, moving the arms, getting that range of motion back throughout their hips and shoulders. Great way to work on all those things.
Okay. Some people may have had their swim lessons already, but they kind of need like a refresher. So what can they do in between, like with their kids, to make them keep like the thoughts of what they learned in their swimming camp?
Absolutely. You can do things. You can practice your kick laying on your bed at night. You just have those feet going back and forth, working on those good straight legs, making your splash. With the little ones, you can work on putting their face in the water and blowing bubbles in the bathtub, and just being comfortable having their face down and in and around the water.
All right, so the question that we have here is what's the best age for kids to have swim lessons? I know you said as long as they can have like some body motion, you can start
Right.
that.
Right. Really, if you're not wanting to get in with your child, that part there is going to vary a little bit. But we want to be somewhere between that age of 3 years old. Um, that we can put them in a group lesson. They've got the cognitive skills to understand what the teacher is telling them to do, and be able to make their body go through the motions, and do the kicking and the breathing and moving their arms and whatnot. But really, the sooner you can get your child in the water, with a dad, mom, aunt, uncle, grandmother, it doesn't matter. Just in the water, moving, feeling how it is, and being comfortable in the water. That can start as little as 6 months old.
Is there things that we shouldn't do? So here's my thought, right? You've got people who are like the parent or the older brothers in the water, and they're like, come on, just jump in and I'll catch you.
Yeah, but probably that's not a good idea. You really want to do those things with someone who's trained on how to do it. And again, remembering that if you've got someone who's a little bit afraid or timid, they're going to grab a hold of you, and then you could be in a situation where somebody's in trouble.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we're going to take a quick break from our question and answer session right now. Remember, we've got one more segment left. You can text in your questions